What are these new finishes? Can we upgrade this counter? Do these mannequins hold a secret? We're about to find out. Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing video and the first analysis and secrets video we've been able to do in a long time. As I'm sure you've seen, Nintendo just announced the 3.0 update to Animal Crossing New Horizons alongside a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, and probably the most exciting addition coming to the New Horizons Island is of course the Resort Hotel, which is a brand new hotel facility run by the Kapp'n family. I'm so happy to be able to bring you fresh content finally, so let's break down everything we know about the hotel so far, analyze the trailer in detail to see if we missed anything, which is a long signature video series on this channel, and explore some of the hidden features you may have missed. So let's jump straight in. So the hotel section of the trailer opens up with the player running past Bam and onto the pier or dock, I'm still not sure which name people prefer, and shows us the first major change in the 3.0 update. By the way, I've seen this question a lot. The 3.0 update is coming to both Switch and Switch 2, so don't worry. Anyway, the first major change is of course the size of the dock. It has been extended to include the brand new hotel facility in the center, with the dock now extended further out to sea where Kapp'n will still live. Now of course the first thing to note here is that this will be flipped if your dock is on the west side of your island, although it doesn't really change anything. I am assuming short and long docks are now a thing of the past though. Now here the player runs past the Resort Hotel sign, which is super adorable, and we also have a furniture drop-off point which we'll circle back to shortly. Now this is the first time we get a really good look at the outside of the hotel. As you can see, it shares a similar base to Nook's Cranny, which I find super interesting. It probably doesn't mean anything, but just like Nook's, does leave space if they ever wanted to upgrade the facility in the future. But let's stick to the facts today. Next up, we have our first preview of inside of the hotel, and we see pretty much everything the ground floor has to offer, including the characters and the services. Here we can see Tom Nook chatting with Kapp'n and Lalani, and really gives me the same vibes we saw when expanding Halves Island for the first time, or even Lottie at the airport. This is likely exactly how our first encounter of the turtle kind will take place. Over on the left we have Layla, the Kappa's daughter. Even by the end of the trailer we don't know her role yet, if she even has one, but she'll likely tell stories or buy items. Moving over to the right side, we have two mannequins which have a very special feature, but again, we'll get to that. We do get our first look at some new holiday or vacation clothing items here though. Now at the back we can see the main desk, which will be the go-to point to decorate rooms in the hotel. I am a little curious though that we can also go behind the counter, it seems, so I wonder if there's more to decorating here than meets the eye. And finally, on this floor at least, we have Grams at the back there monitoring the souvenir store. Again, we'll cover this later, but we get our first look at two exclusive hotel items, the hotel mug and snow globe. You'll notice they're all wearing adorable resort t-shirts too, including Kapp'n, who also wears a resort hat now too, which is another change you'll notice when first updating. I guess we can say goodbye to his tropical shirt. The trailer then highlights the Kapp'n family in closer detail, which is cool because for some people this will be the first time you've ever encountered these, especially if you don't own Amiibo. During the close-up of Kapp'n, we do get to see the boundary of the sea around the New Horizons Island. Now it's really hard to tell, but it looks pretty close to the dock to me, so I would be confident in saying the boundary hasn't changed and the deep sea diving area limits are likely the same. During the close-up with Lalani, we get a closer look at the desk that's suspiciously not closed off like those in resident services or the airport, so not sure what that means, but we do get to see some adorable family photos at the back there, so I wonder if we'll be able to interact with them or something. Anyway, moving on, the trailer begins to introduce to us the actual service the resort hotel facility provides, which is of course decorating rooms for guests staying at the hotel, and here we get some room previews which also act as good inspiration for when the time comes. The first room they show off gives us even more new items, including the hotel towel rack here, and this potted plant I believe is actually actually really hard to remember what exists and what's new since there's so many items now. The second room showcases the Cute series, which of course already exists in the game, but the third room shows a completely new furniture series which I believe is called the Artful series, and honestly I love it. It's so zen, but tropical, but minimal. It's going to be a favourite for sure. The Artful wallpaper even adds some circular windows, which I love. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this new furniture series. And of course the fourth room is a frozen room, once again showcasing a set that already exists in the game. Next up, the trailer digs a little deeper, explaining how the guest rooms work, as we see the player and Leilani enter the room with a set theme, or a proposed theme, but more on that in a second. This is pretty much like how it works in Happy Home Paradise, by the way, if you've never played the DLC. Here we see the on-screen UI, which again is basically the same as those when decorating in our own home, but also similar to the Happy Home Paradise layout of the clipboard and being able to change up variations of items on the fly. Honestly, having this hotel on the main island and coming in a free update is huge for anyone who didn't play the DLC. Anyway, the trailer confirms the game will provide items based on the theme of each room, but goes on to say you do have access to your own catalogue and can freely use your own items too, which is nice. This includes accent walls, which if I remember correctly is currently tied to the DLC I think, so again great for users who don't have the DLC. The trailer moves back to the main room now and we get a little introduction to when guests arrive to stay in the hotel. Here we see Punchy inquiring about booking a room before moving into a room that was decorated earlier. I'm guessing this means we can decorate the rooms beforehand and then guests will come and stay in pre-designed rooms, but I imagine they might ask for changes too, like themes or specific items. We don't know yet. Actually, there's a lot we don't know, so I do think there's going to be way more to this hotel than we first think. Anyway, something we do know for sure is that once rooms have been decorated, we earn 200 hotel tickets, which probably need a dedicated video, so be sure to subscribe for when that drops too. For each decoration, we get 200 hotel tickets added to our balance. Actually, it would make sense to be able to redesign rooms as much as we want, so we can keep earning those tickets. But there is another way to earn them, which we'll get to shortly. Now, once the player has some precious hotel tickets, the trailer confirms we can of course redeem them or spend them in Graham's souvenir shop, and again get another look at some of the new resort hotel themed items we saw at the start. Now, this store is much like purchasing from Nooks or the store on Happy Home Paradise or even Red, but does seem to offer a secret store that's more like the Nook stop in Resident Services. Presumably when talking with Grams we access the resort hotel shop where even more items can be redeemed. So you see why I compared it to the Nook stop. This is the first time we get to see a wide range of new items, or at least the names of new items, but we do get to see some items including the hotel umbrella, the bird of paradise plant, the simple street light, the tubular shelves from another brand new set, the artful bed we saw in the guest room, and the kiddie car, which looks super fun. At this point we're about halfway through the hotel section of the trailer, which is wild. There's so much content, it's crazy, and we are 100% only now scraping the surface, I'm sure. Now here we finally get to see more about those mannequins. You may recognize these from the Able Sisters, but they actually have a hidden feature that's returning from Animal Crossing New Leaf. Here Leilani introduces us to the mannequin feature and explains that not only can they be dressed and customized, but people visiting the hotel, such as friends, can literally borrow them and change their outfits simply by interacting with the mannequins. So as you can see in this menu, for example, the island owner can change the mannequin's outfits or change into the outfit already on the mannequin, such as these new resort outfits, which I really like. Presumably it doesn't actually affect the outfits you're wearing and act more like a wand outfit, which will disappear when the player changes their outfit or a visitor leaves the island. The next section of the trailer shows off updating the mannequin's clothing, and as you can see is a simple case of selecting items from our storage, which is sorted into a nice hotel themed menu. Here we can give mannequins literally any clothing items, including rucksacks and of course dresses and hair accessories. An interesting point highlighted in the trailer at this point is the hotel guests such as villagers can also change into your mannequin outfits, which is cute, but another thing this scene gives away is that hotel guests can wander off and walk around our islands. This will really make the island feel super busy if you think we have 10 villagers, up to 8 guests, plus any players and friends. That's a lot of villagers wandering around. Next, the trailer heads back to the hotel and we get a taste of what it's like to invite friends over who all meet at the hotel and make use of the mannequins to change into matching outfits. Of course, we also have yet another first look at even more sparkly new clothes on the mannequins. I'm not sure what they're called yet, but they will no doubt be favorites too. Now, not much appears to change in the hotel itself, but this scene does actually give us confirmation that the stock displayed in Graham's souvenir store will change out. We don't know if it's daily or weekly, but they appear to be pulled from the main resort store menu anyway. That said, it's still cool to see rotating stock that even your friends can buy. Moving on, all of the Animal Crossing players can be seen in matching mannequin outfits on the huge new dock, which I guess is more of a pier now, under a fireworks display. One small detail you may have missed here is that the lights on the outside of the hotel along with the actual resort logo sign light up at night, which is a super cute detail and super cozy. The trailer goes on now to confirm amiibo compatibility, confirming we can invite our own hotel guests simply by scanning amiibo at the counter, again much like Happy Home Paradise. Although this is the first time the amiibo scanner has appeared in the trailer at the hotel, so I'm guessing it's something we have to unlock later down the line, most likely by decorating X number of rooms first, but I'm just guessing. I do hope there are things to upgrade here and work towards though. As you can see, the example they show is Label, which straight away confirms special characters can also stay at the hotel. It will be interesting to see if we can invite those working on the island like the Dodos or Isabel and what happens to their roles whilst they're staying. Anyway, in Label's guest room we get to see the tubular furniture series in more detail alongside the sloppy furniture, which is just hilarious. For some reason I didn't imagine Label to be messy. Anyway, one detail here is that Label has Mabel and Sable's portraits on the wall, so I wonder if that was a request from Label to change the design, or means this is another way to unlock special character photos and portraits. That would be cool. Moving back outside now, and the trailer greets us with Tom Nook greeting us, suggesting ways to essentially promote the hotel, which is nice and adds a little bit of story and purpose to the whole thing. Now, Tom Nook introduces the crafting box that we saw at the very start, which basically lists random DIYs that can be crafted in exchange for more hotel tickets. As you can see, we get some random items and it's down to us to craft them. This millisecond of trailer also confirms a huge feature, by the way, that is of course multi-crafting, and a long-awaited feature requested by the community. As you can see, players can now toggle the amount of items they want to craft, presumably based on the amount of materials you have on you, and craft them all at once, which is an actual game changer, although I am surprised we didn't see this feature earlier. Next up, the trailer shows the freshly crafted items being delivered back to the box and exchanged for bonus hotel tickets. So if you want those awesome new hotel items from the souvenir store but aren't keen on decorating, for example, this is a great way to earn extra tickets. As you can see, Kapp'n apparently delivers the furniture, but I'm not sure if the hotel has a rating system or something, or if this is just a front for earning extra tickets, but this service is supposed to promote the island in some way. Actually, I'm guessing the more we donate, the more often villagers turn up or something. Anyway, the trailer then moves away from the hotel resort, but does return to it towards the end of the trailer, where it highlights the floor plan of the upstairs of the hotel. Here we can see the hotel has a total of 8 rooms. We don't know if this is the max or if we'll be able to add new floors or something, but we get a nice preview of the room, which I think will be the screenshot that was taken when the room was decorated, along with a little picture of the current guest. You may also notice that these are standard rooms, denoted by this door icon, but there's also a special door which could be different rooms or something. I'm not too sure. If you have any idea what this special door icon means, Let me know. And yeah, it basically ends with the player visiting Raymond in his hotel guest room, which as far as I can tell, or remember, features even more new furniture, or at least new finishings, such as the table and fireplace that appear to have a black marble finish, which looks extra slick and I love it. So this could hint that new finishes, or even more new furniture has been added. And that's pretty much the full analysis of the resort hotel. I do think there's even more to this update than Nintendo are previewing here, especially around this hotel, but for now, that's everything we know, and a rundown of all the details you may have missed the first time around. Please post hotel if you made it to this point in the video, and be sure to include which villager you will invite here first. I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.